My speech that I'm going to deliver today deals with a lot of talk about race, microaggressions, as well as outright attacks on the basis of race. I just wanted to let anyone with similar experiences know that prior to. Thank you. I've struggled with the idea of race for a long time. What does it mean to be Black beyond the color of my skin? I was self-conscious about everything, from the music I listened to the way that I talked, as if there was some mysterious quota I needed to fulfill. Even as a young child, I latched into the vague concept of race. When I was in kindergarten in Southern California, I noticed that all of my peers looked different beautiful shades of black, brown, and white. Being a child of mixed descent, African American and Mexican, I noticed I was this weird in-between. I asked my dad one morning on the way to school, if I'm not Black and I'm not white, then what am I? He was clearly taken aback by this question by his 4-year-old at 8 in the morning. So he paused. He took a sip from his coffee and told me, "You're mocha," gesturing me to look into his mug. A few years later, my brother and I would get our first handheld game consoles for Christmas. We had red and blue Nintendo 3DSs with the latest Pokemon games on them. In the games, you can make little avatars and battle and trade with other people online, although it was a pretty bare-bones system. One day, I noticed that my younger brother had set up his avatar with a pale white face and blue eyes. So I asked him curiously, "Why doesn't your character look like you?" And he replied quickly, "I want them to like me." Around this time, I would change schools frequently and find myself having to socially reset every few years. With every move, fewer and fewer of my peers would share my complexion. Combine that with the fact little kids have absolutely no filter, and that meant I was put in some pretty awkward situations. Some people in my tiny elementary school circles would make monkey noises when they saw me. Others looked at me and thought it was the perfect time to use the most disgusting and hurtful language they knew at the time. And one time, during a history lesson in elementary school, my teacher posed a simple question. We had just wrapped up our lesson on Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad when my teacher asked us, "What would you think if slavery was still around today?" My best friend's hand shot up instantly. He was quick to answer. "I would be happy because I could make Zach my slave and he could do all my homework." The teacher made him apologize, but he could never take back what he said. So why am I sharing all these moments with you? Race, as we understand it in this room, is destructive and divisive. My coming of age was inextricably tied to grappling with it. I'll never forget one day in 7th grade, I let all the tension get to my head. I came to my mom with tears. Oh, sorry, I lost my place. I came to my mom with a face full of tears. They keep touching my hair. They stare at me. I can tell when they're scared of me. I don't belong. It felt like my entire life was stuck revolving around this existential struggle. So finally, we arrive at the present day. Black History Month has always felt so off to me. That being said, educating the broader public about unsung Black heroes and pioneers is incredibly important. There are countless examples of Black and brown people being minimized or completely removed from our global history, and giving these people their due respect is incredibly important. Supporting the Black community's rich history, culture, and traditions is invaluable on its own. But as a child, I was only shown Black plight. I learned about the struggle of the generations before me, but I never had my own Black heroes. My childhood led me to believe the color of my skin was a burden. Black History Month is important, but it's not the full picture. So I think we need a little rebranding. And I urge you all to consider this month as Black Future Month. This isn't just a time to acknowledge Black history, but to celebrate Black success. All of those Black, brown, and mocha kids deserve a lesson in how to love themselves and look forward to what the world has in store for them. I needed that lesson when I was little. Not enough of those children are told Black is beautiful, and that ends today. Before this month ends, Take some time to recognize the Black role models in your lives. Recognize that every Black success is a magnificent thing to behold. To answer my question from the beginning, being Black doesn't mean anything beyond the color of my skin. Black is what you make it. It's intellectual, it's thoughtful, it's queer, it's stunning, it's considerate, and it's not going anywhere, especially until it's free. It's a silly label on its own, but it sounds pretty sweet in front of other things, like Black entrepreneur, Black visionary, Black millionaire, Black love. Let's focus on shaping an equitable, triumphant Black future. Thank you.